For this next part, we will be adding a login and logout. So we create a branch from the main repository. And then from that branch, we click on it. And then we do a git pod. So let's start. Once we are done, yep, there's no vulnerabilities. Start with adding another path to our user, which is another action. For this, we'll just add login, post, summary, login, logs in a user, then operation ID is login, then request body, we will again have a login user, and then we'll create a response from here that is a successful response. For that, we'll need to create a request body again, which is login user, a description, logs in a user, then content should be, we'll just copy this, but instead of that, login object. Then the response, just copy this, successful response, full object. So we'll create a schema for successful object, which is just type object properties success type boolean, and we just copy this password string, and then we just delete this. This is the login object. Then from here we have added, so let's see, npm start, npm start again. This is running on a different instance from our previous video, so we'll need to open up the ports, and you have the login with the username password. So we'll start with the services for that, for the user, which is login.js. The services for that will need to have getDB from utils db index.js, and then now we'll use the compare function from bcrypt. And then export const login is equals to async request reply. This is an arrow function that we are using, so let's not forget that. We get the body from the request. We get the username and password from the body. And then, of course, we get the DB. And then we check if there's a given username. If there is no username, we reply unauthorized. No username. So the thing here is, sometimes um, sites obfuscate the return part where it doesn't really tell you if there's really no username or you have incorrect username password. For now, we will tell them that the username doesn't exist. You can also tell them that username, it is actually not found 404. But for now, this is of course logging in, so it's still not authorized. So you can say that it's unauthorized. So now we compare them: password, the string, and the DB user's username hash password. So we are comparing this one with the string from the login. So um, if it's not equal, we say incorrect password. Then we should return success true. So let's add it out. Import login from user login.js. Login equals login. So if we try it out, so let's do a refresh. To try it out, TJ Montserrat. Then let's say because our password is strong. This one should return unauthorized because there's no username. But if we use the correct username with the number 1, it will return success true. The thing here is it's actually not logged. It doesn't really log you in. It just tells you, okay, um, you are an existing user. You have the correct password, but the next time you access this, um, it doesn't know who you are because the server doesn't save the state of each request. It takes in the request as if there's a new user requesting it. So unless you send something back that will tell them, um, okay, this user already exists, you need to, uh, or this user already has registered, then you need to um, up, know that this person already, I mean, this function or this server already knows that you are an existing um, authorized user. So to do that, what we'll need to do is we'll need to install these things. It's Fastify cookie. So this allows us to have a uh, cookie variable that is sent via the header, but it for our purposes it will be used to store the state of the request, so that if the state is logged in, you are logged in, and if the state is logged out, you are not if the state is logged out, then you are not an existing user. The next is Fastify secure session to make sure that anything on the front end cannot access that cookie variable. And lastly is JWT to further obfuscate or sort of, well, not really encrypt, but obfuscate the the information that we will be putting on the token. So given that, um, we will do this cookie from Fastify cookie, import session from Fastify secure session, and import JWT from Fastify JWT. So after this, we can Fastify that register cookie, Fastify register session, but we need to have something here. So secret, a very long string for the secret that should work. And then the salt should be a string of 16 characters, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 16 characters. And then the cookie, we set it as HTTP only, which is true. And it expires at about 1 hour. Then Fastify, register, JWT. Again, we can have a different secret here. This is a very long string that will be used for the JWT secret. And there you go. For now, we will be using this, but there's a more secured way to do this. Now, how do we set this up? On the login. So what we can do, because we have put it there, so const token, we create a token from the JWT sign. So we sign our reply, we sign this. So we sign our username. So that means in the payload for the JWT, we create the token. The payload is just an object with username. And then we put it at the session on the request token. Now, the thing is, once this one is done, um, let's just not do this first. I just want to show you how it works here. So if we execute um, and then go for fetch xhr, can see here headers, response headers is here, and well, these are cookies for the gitpod, so we really don't have anything here. But if we comment this out and execute the next time, we can see the response cookies session, which has the value this one, which is the obfuscated version of this payload. So there you have it. You have a response cookies, but you cannot access it in the console. So if we try to access it, so how do we try accessing cookie access on JS? So if we try to document that cookie, we can see the gitpod marketing, AJS anonymous, gitpod, and so on and so forth, but we don't see the response cookies in here. So okay, we cannot also add it on our request. That means you cannot use there's a way to use this by, of course, copying and copy pasting this one, but it's a bit harder to do that. So now that we have logged in, we'll try to create the logout. So time to create logout. The thing with logout is you don't need post and you don't need a request body. So it just logs out a user. So you have a logout. That means so we just copy this instead of this logout. Now I'm going to remove this, but we'll just remove all of this. Actually, it's just returning success true. But we want to make sure that when you want to log out, so if we refresh this, let's see the cookies that we have. So if we log out, I mean, if we logged in again, every time the server resets, the cookie is logged out. So password is strong. We logged in, and then if we try logging out, oops, there's no logout. I haven't added logout yet. I'm so sorry. Logout from user logout.js. Logout. There you go. So we need to log in again. Execute. So as you can see, there's the cookies and the logout. You still has you still have that cookie. So see here, that's the cookie. And on logout, you still have the cookie. So that means, but on document cookie, on the document cookie, you still don't see this session because it's not accessible. Okay, so but you don't the logout is, if you do this, it's still there. So first is, how do we make sure that uh, when logging out, um, you it's only accessible by a um, a session with cookie. So the thing is, what you'll need to do is you'll need to create a specification. Um, you'll need to create a specification called, wait one, let me just check. Okay, so you need to add a specification components called um, security schemes. So for security schemes, export const security schemes cookie auth. So we'll create a cookie auth which is of type API key, which can be found in a cookie, and the name is token. So the name is token. We add this security schemes, security schemes, and once added, we'll just we'll just add on our paths. We'll check. We'll add it as security. Oh, it's an array with this cookie auth. Now we'll also add some things here, making sure that the security for the following doesn't go to that one. For the other things as well, we'll also add things. We'll also add the security. So for now, we are making sure that everything is flowing, as well as on the general. So, okay, this one. Okay, given this, let's add security. For security, um, we'll add this one, index.js, import get db from utils db index.js. Then we'll create a class called security. For now, we'll do this app equals app, and we'll create a function called the same name, cookie auth, with a request reply. Then we'll do a try catch. Then we show an error. Now, we get the token from the session, which if you remember on our login, we have set it on the name token. Then we get the username. How do we get the username from that obfuscated text? We use JWT verify token. Then we get the DB, get DB if db.users username. That means the token uses a different username and it should be unauthorized. Else we put the username on the request for further uses. So given that, we'll go to the app.js, we get the security from index, and then let me just get my notes. We get for the open API glue operations, we'll have security handlers calls new security fastify. Just want to add that, and then service this one. Put it here. So if we use the logout now, because there, as you can see, our server restarts every now and then. If you use logout now, um, doesn't work still. There's no if we refresh, there you go, execute. Let us check specification index. We need to add lastly in our specification index this part, security cookie auth, so that it will be listed. If we do that, execute. Oh, okay. Let's just check again. Let's see if this is being called security. So we call this, yep, it's being called. But do we have the session? Yes, we still have the session. So if we clear out our cookies, wait, no. Um, let's have it cleared out on our logout. So that means user. Okay. Let's properly clear it out. To properly clear it out, we'll just request session delete. So once that is done, we execute. Okay. And if we do this again, we are now unauthorized because our cookies doesn't exist anymore. Before we have our cookies, and then this is the response cookie, session is null. So again, if we log in, try out DJ Montserrat 1, password is strong, execute. Okay, so we have the new cookie here, execute. We have the next cookie, which is null, and then this returns success true, and then execute. And you are now unauthorized because um, you are not available in essence. So there's the missing token. So we don't need this one anymore because we know that it's entering there. Now for that, we'll just need to add a few more. Of course, if we do this npm test, you can see that our security is not being checked. Login and logout is not being checked. So we'll just add login user dot login dot test.js. Login a user should work. So for now, we will be using the same registration setup. We just want to make sure that it works. Um, Login should work. So we just need username, user, uh, new user dot username, and password is new user dot password. So given that, it should return 200. So if we test it out again, okay, now login is being um it's working, but it says 11 to 12, 15 to 16. So if you check it out, what it means, 11 to 12, 11 to 12, so this one, and 15 to 16, so this one. So we need to add something in our test to cover that. So first and foremost, it should login should return an error if username doesn't exist. So let's have it as test, and password is this. And because it's unauthorized, you should check unauthorized, which is 401. And if password is incorrect, so we use the new username here. So we test it out. Then as you can see, the login is already fully tested. Next is we test logout. Logout test. Let's change that part. Logging in a user should work. So, okay, so we create again a new user, we log in, and then from here, um, let me just check. Um, tap and p, no, tap, up, inject, get cookie, because we need to get that cookie. Um, Fastified. There. Let's see if we can get the cookies from here. So response dot, what's the response again? Can have the cookies here. Uh-huh. Okay, this should be fetch get cookie. Fetch. Let's see first. Response headers dot get console.log is more of like checking how we will get the cookies. So that there is the set cookie. Um, so we'll get the cookie is equals to response dot headers set cookie. Actually, we put it here. Let cookie and then log out should work. We don't need a body. We just make um so for here it says cookies. Um, cookies session equals to cookie. Let's see if this works. Response. Let's see. It failed. Okay, 400. Oh, this is post. Sorry, should be get. Should be get. Hmm. So there's a missing token. We are not able to put in the cookies. Um, mhm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let's see. So now that we know that logging out with cookies is without cookies is not working, we just need to, let's see. If we do this on logout headers, the request headers should be cookie session. Okay, now I know. Should be header, just for the sake of making sure it's there. Session is equals to cookie. Now it's still failing. It's still missing. Cookie session. Yeah, let me just get back to that later on. But for now, should work without a cookie. Should return an error without a cookie. For now, we'll just leave it at that. Last set. Just want to see what the cookie return. What is the cookie that is being returned? There, it is now returning correctly. Uh, Session. Ah, what if we do this? Hmm, it's now returning correctly because we already have the session here. So we don't need this anymore. Um, I think we forgot something, which is to close. Are we able to close? Okay. Update to do the register user. Before now, it's all right. Then there's the 15, 16, 20, 22. 15, 16. For now, we'll just um, then the 2022, which if it doesn't have a token. So for now, we'll just leave it at that, and we know already that it's not working. Well, we can actually add another one where we just don't set the cookie. Should work here and should return 401. Now it passes, so we know already that it's working. Um, so for the DB, we'll just for now we'll just revert it. Don't want to have special items there. Sure, add new dependencies. And then first is we add login. For the user, feed add login, and then feed add logout and checking cookie. There you go. Yes. Let's check the test. Okay, that worked. For now, it failed because it has sort of did something, but yeah. But you can see the 16, 17 will add something that we should not use most of the time, but we know that it's really hard to replicate. I mean, for us, um, for clean logout. So for us, it's going to be hard to replicate this part where the username doesn't exist. But yeah, for now, let's push it. Compare, pull request, added log in and log out. And last is merge pull request, confirm merge, and that is done. Next would be the ability to update user and change passwords. So on to the next video.